Choosing a suitable rotate order is as critical as the control rig itself. We need to make sure that we can avoid gimbal lock as much as we possibly can when rotating our controls. So that's what we're going to go ahead and discuss in this lesson. Again, the main reason why we'd want to change our rotate or axis order is so that we can avoid gimbal lock as much as possible. It's not totally unavoidable, but we can do a good job at removing that problem from our control rigs by, again, choosing that stable axis order. What I like to do when determining the axis order is to first select the control, choose the gimbal coordinate system so we can see what axis we're actually rotating in, and then get an idea of what the twist axis is, the back and forth axis, and the side to side. What I like to do is actually have the twist axis be controlled by the other axes. Following that, we can have the back and forth axis drive the twist, and then the side to side drives everything. That way we have our control oriented and the axis order oriented the way we need to throughout our animation. So in this case, it looked like X, Z, Y would be a great choice. With the chest selected, we can head over to our motion panel. Under our rotation list, can go ahead and scroll down till we find our Euler parameters, and here's where we can change our axis order. So again, we've determined that for our upper body controls, X, Z, Y would serve very well. So we can go ahead and find that now. X, Z, Y is the second choice. And now again, notice the twist axis, okay, doesn't control the other axes. This is what we want. So we rotate now back and forth. The back and forth controls our twist axis. And of course the side to side is going to control everything. So I find that to work very well. But that's not always going to be the case. Okay, again, it depends on what side you draw out your control rig in. In this case, we drew it out on the left side, but if your character was built in, let's say, another view, of course, things would change. But again, I find that the twist axis, when that is not controlling any other axis, that works well. Then we could have the back and forth control the twist, and then the side to side control everything. So being that we're going to go with XCY, let's go ahead and make that the choice for our other upper body controls. Now this doesn't also mean that it's going to be the same for every control. I was working on an animation one time of a character thinking, and I animated the hand in a way where it actually used another rotate order. So it all depends on the type of animation you're working on. But again, I find this to be a little bit more suitable in this case. Alright, so with that, I'd also like to mention that when you freeze your controls, that actually resets your axis order. So you'd probably want to change this axis order at the end of your control rig. So that would pretty much be your last task. Well, with that now discussed, we've chosen a good rotate order or axis order for our upper body controls, and this is going to work great, especially when we plug in our twist setup, which we're actually about to do starting in the next lesson. So that finishes this lesson, and in the next we'll get started with setting up our twist for the upper body.